Welcome all of you. Yesterday we were discussing about some scheduling of energy and also some basic problems in the discrete time interval method. We need to solve some problems regarding how the actual scheduling we are facing. What are the different problems that we can face in our scheduling of energy. So mainly the thing is the three problems that we need to solve using the different three methods, that is discrete time methods or gamma lambda method or penalty factor method. The basic problem is we need to minimize the water discharge. We need to determine the water discharge at various intervals. What are the various intervals? We need to determine we need to determine the water discharge, water discharge at various intervals, and also we need to minimize the total thermal production cost and also the operating constants. We need to satisfy the basic operating constants. So for that purpose, we are just observed some mathematical formulations and operational constraints. And the next step is we need to discretize. We need to discretize the things. How? So we have to divide the total time period T max. So the nomenclature are very important in this session. So what are the different nomenclature that we studied in the previous sessions? So that comes into the picture now. We have to divide the total time period T max into different subunits, that is delta T, and the remaining things we need to fix at different subintervals. So what are the main things that we need to discretize here is we need to minimize the production cost. We need to minimize the production cost of thermal the power generated by the thermal power station. So that is FPGT. FPGT. So that is the first problem we need to discuss now. That's what we need to discuss. That's what we need to come now, that sigma k is equals to 1 to n f of PGT, that is production cost of thermal power generation. And the next thing is we need to balance the power. We need to balance. We need to balance the different hydro constants, that is generation is equals to load plus losses. Generation is equals to load plus losses, that is generation from thermal and hydel is equals to load plus losses. And here the losses constants will be divided into based upon loss coefficients, that is B factors. We call it as B factors or loss coefficients. So these loss coefficients are BTT of PGT square plus 2 BTH PGT. 2 BTH. TT is from thermal, the losses that we occurred at the thermal stations, and the loss coefficients, the loss constant at hydel, and here at the hydel generation. Here at thermal and hydel, and here at hydel. So we need to consider these loss coefficients. The loss coefficients are BTT, BHH, BTH. BTT is the loss occurred at thermal station, and the HS is the loss occurred at hydel station, and the BTH is the loss occurred at thermal and hydel, the combination. So that is the thing. And the next thing is storage. The constants, that is storage. The storage comes when we need the main problem that we need to solve is we need to determine the water discharge at different interval. Water discharge at different interval. So in order to understand the water discharge, we should know the amount of water available, amount of water discharge, and amount of water inflow. So all these things. So those things will be decided by using this equation. SK. SK is the storage of water at kth interval. Sk minus 1. St raised to k minus 1 is the amount of water stored at k minus 1 interval. And Q in delta T, that is amount of water flowing into the plant, into the reservoir. So at kth interval at sub intervals. So this is the K is the total time interval, and T is the time interval that actually the plant is running. And Q naught K. Q naught is nothing but the amount of water flown out at delta T time. So by all these things, By combining all these things, we are going to determine the amount of water that is discharged. One is stored, another one is inflow, and this is the discharge. So here we can minimize the equation. So the total amount of water stored, that is Sk, is equals to Sk S raised to k minus 1 plus Q in delta k minus Q naught delta k. That is just sending these terms in RHS. So that, like that, we can determine the amount of the total strength of water available, the quantity of water available, that is Sk. So here we need to divide this using delta T. Why? Here I have mentioned that we need to divide the total time period Tmax into delta T in order to calculate the water discharge at different intervals. So for that we need to divide with delta T. So here we get S star delta K, S star K minus S star K minus 1, Q in K plus Q naught K. So here S star K is nothing but Sk divided by delta T. So amount of water available, amount of water stored at particular this interval, at particular small amount of interval, that is delta T. So that will be given by S star K, S star K. And the next thing is we need to determine the hydel power generation, generated hydel power, that is PGHK. So this in the first session while starting the hydel thermal constraints chapter, the first formula that we derived is amount of the power generated, that is P is equals to rho GH into gravity constant, acceleration due to gravity. So that's the thing here, 9.81 10 raised to minus 3 HAV Q naught K minus rho. So by substituting this formula, we get the amount of water, that is amount of power that is generated using the hydel power station. So here HAV, this is the average head. H is the head, P is the length of the pole, rho is the density of the water, and G is the acceleration due to gravity constant. So everything is just mentioned here. Kth interval. So HAVK is the average head at kth interval. If we are going to consider for fifth interval, just substitute k is equals to 5. That's it. So this HAV will be given by H naught of 1.1 plus 0.5 E S star K plus S star of K minus 1. So what it H naught means? The water head corresponding to the dead storage. So there will be some fixed amount that we can't use further in every reservoirs. In every reservoirs, there will be a fixed amount of water that is stored and which should not be used further. So that amount of water is called as dead storage. So the height of that dead storage is called as H naught. The height of that dead storage is called as H naught, and E will be given by correction factor. There will be some errors while calculating. That error will be maintained, that balanced by the some factors. So that is given by delta T by A H naught. And rho is the dead storage. Here the rho is the dead storage, and A, what it means by A is the area of cross section of reservoir, the total area of cross section of reservoirs. So just substitute this HAV in this equation, in the 1A equation. So if you are going to substitute this H naught HAV here, so what we get? 9.81 10 raised to minus 3 H naught, then the same thing, and Q naught K minus rho. So if you minimize, the equation will be PGHK. So we need 4 equations now. So this PGHK will be given by this formula, H naught star 1 plus 0.5 E. So how you get this equation? By just substituting this H naught equal S star K plus S star K minus 1 of Q naught K minus rho. So why we need all these equations? That is, we got sigma F PGT star K equation, then loss, generation plus loss equation, and storage equation and amount of power that is generated using hydel equation. So by combining all these things, we are going to form one more equation. That one more equation is, okay, that's the Lagrangian function equation. So by using that Lagrangian function equation, we are going to use these four equations. What are these? The minimization cost of thermal station, power balance, load plus losses, and amount of power generated using the Heidel. And the third one is storage, amount of water available at the storage. So by using all these things, we are going to solve the basic problems. What are the basic problems that we faced? We have to minimize the thermal cost. We have to calculate the water discharge, and also we have to satisfy the different operating constants of ideal thermal stations. So for that, the dependent variables. So what are the different dependent variables? That is the storage equation. By using the storage equation, that is star n, if you just substitute k is equals to 1, then star k is equals to star 1, star k minus 1. So k minus 1 is 1 minus 1, that is 0. So like that, we are going to give the numbers. So here the dependent variables in the storage equation are star n minus star 0, sigma q, q in k, and q naught k. So here n minus 1. So n minus 1 is the only dependent value of q naught. So for q naught, only n minus 1 will be dependent variable. So that is the q naught 1 is dependent variable. So what are the different dependent variables here? Only the q naught 1, the amount of water that is flowing out. So that is the only dependent variable here. And if you are going to substitute q naught 2, 3, 4, so that is k value 1. So for the k value 1 is the only dependent variable. Other than 1 are the independent variable. Because why only k is equals to 1 is the dependent variable? The main thing that we need to understand here is the first, after filling the reservoir, we are going to open the crust gates. So that's the amount of water that is flowing out. So that is the first constant. That is the first interval. So that is dependent. So after discharging, after flowing first set of water, we are going to increase or decrease the crust gates in order to flow some more water. So that is the independent amount of water that is flowing out. So the next thing is we are going to solve the Lagrangian function. So Lagrangian function, it is the Lagrangian. This the symbol gives the denotation of Lagrangian. The symbol gives the Lagrangian. It's called as Lagrangian. So it is formulated by the cost that we are just derived above. That is the production cost, total production cost, and the total losses, generation plus losses balance equation, and the storage equation, and the Heidel power generation equation. So all the four equations I am just combining now. So here lambda. So lambda gives the df pgt by dpgt. That is differentiation of production cost of thermal station. So this we derived yesterday. The lambda gives df pgt divided by dpgt. The differentiation of fuel cost of thermal stations. So that will be given by the value lambda. So that is the value lambda. So the Lagrangian is given by combining all the equations. So first one is the fuel cost equation, fuel cost of thermal station. So if you are just differentiating this equation with the PGT, you will get lambda value. So that one, and minus lambda 1k into thermal what is that, power generation balance power generation equation, plus lambda 2 into storage equation, plus lambda 3 into the power generation by Heidel stations. So this is the equation. for Lagrangian function. And now, in order to minimize this equation, we are going to differentiate the partial differentiation of Lagrangian function by using PGTK. So what I get? So just partial differentiation is dou Lagrangian divided by dou PGTK. So if you are going to differentiate all these things with respect to PGTK, so you will get df PGTK by dPGTK. This is the first term minus lambda 1k into losses. 1 minus losses divided the dou losses by dou PGTK, because GH will be not observing here. I am not going to consider GH because the only factor is GT. I am going to consider only for GT. That's why GH is the taken as constant. So constant is 0. And the remaining thing is treated as a constant. So only while differentiating, I am going to consider the PGT. So the PGT is only here. So that is the only thing comes here. So that will be taken as 2b. This is the equation 2. So if you are going to solve using the same thing with Heidel stations, with the power generation using Heidel, that is GH. First we need to consider PGT, and next we are going to consider PGH. So here the PGH will be here in lambda 3. So the lambda 3 minus lambda 1. The lambda 1 is here. Lambda 3 minus lambda 1 of losses. Dou P losses by dou PGT. Dou PGH. This will be dou PGH. This will be H. Dou PGH. Dou PGH. So by solving the equation for storage, first we are considered for partial differentiation of Lagrangian using thermal generation, Heidel generation. Now we are going to consider with the storage. So what we get? Lambda 2k minus lambda 2k plus 1. Here lambda 2k plus 1, and lambda 3 using this constant for k and as well as k plus 1. We need to partial differentiate using k as well as k plus 1. So that's why just observe here, lambda 2k for one constant minus lambda 2k plus 1. Here the constant will be 1 because it's a constant. The lambda 3k of this thing and lambda 3k plus 1 of this thing. So now we need to compute for amount of voltage for discharge amount of water. So the 4 equations that we derived now for power generation, for balancing the power generation equations, for fuel cost, and for the storage. So the next thing is amount of water which is flowing out. So for that, if you just compute dou Lagrange by dou Q naught K. So from this equation, from the third equation, so from this equation. So here I am just partial differentiating using Q naught K into this equation. So main thing is, in order to solve the discrete equations, you have to understand what you actually going to do. We are actually going to solve the problems. The problem that is facing are, we need to calculate the amount of water discharging, we need to minimize the thermal production cost, and we need to satisfy the constants, Heidel constants. That should be keep in our mind. So by keeping that in our mind, we are going to solve these equations. We are making ready these equations. So these are the same equations that we are using for solving the problems. And I am using that equation, same equation. S star k is equals to S star k minus 1 Q in k minus Q naught k. So here I am just substituted k is equals to 1. So S star 1 is equals to S star 1 minus 1 0 plus Q in 1 minus Q naught 1. And here just consider the RHS with k in equation 2 and substitute in S star k. What does that mean? Here in this equation, just substitute k is equals to 1. In this equation, just substitute k is equals to 1 and substitute the this S star equation. So Lagrangian is equals to f of PGT. So this Lagrangian consists of all the 4 problem equations. ನಾವೇನು ಈಗ ಡಿರೈವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ನಾನು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ 4 equations, ಅದೇ 4 equations ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋದು. So first thing is minimize the production of thermal cost, that is PGT. And next one is for k is equals to 1. For lambda 1, k is equals to 1, we have to balance the power. And the next is storage. And the next is amount of water discharge at generation, the idle generation. So that is the thing. I am just substituting S star 1. I am just replaced k is equals to 1 in equation 2 and substituted this equation S star 1, because we need to know the amount of water stored at first interval. So for that S star 1, I am just substituted S star 1 here. Just substitute S star 1 is equal to this formula in this place. In this place, just substitute this one. So you will get, and we have to partial differentiate this Lagrangian using Q naught. Why Q naught? Q naught is the amount of water that is flowing out at the first interval. So for that, I am just differentiated this Lagrangian using Q naught k. So lambda 2 1, lambda 3 dash, and H naught. Here the actual H naught, because Q naught is only here. We have to calculate the Q naught here. So the same thing. Just substitute, and this is the mathematical. Just use your mathematics. First order partial differentiation. And the gradient factor. The gradient vector is the partial derivative of the Lagrangian function. The gradient factor is the partial derivative of the Lagrangian with respect to the independent variables. So this is the important factor you people need to concentrate. The gradient vector, the vector that we are derived is the gradient vector, is the partial derivative of the Lagrangian. The partial derivative of the Lagrangian with respect to the independent variable. Here the independent variable is Q naught. So in the last slide, I have shown that dependent variables and independent variables. In this equation, only thing is Q naught 1. Q naught 1 is the dependent variable. Q naught 2, Q naught 3, Q naught 4 are the independent variables. So in order to use that, we are using only the independent variables. So that is Q naught 2, 3, 4, not Q naught 1. So by that, we got the equation dou Lagrangian Q naught k. So k is not equals to 1, because we are concentrating only for independent variables. So same thing, delta 2 minus 1, delta 3 1, H naught star 1 plus 2 star 1, that is 2 star k minus 1. Q in k, 2 Q naught 1 k and rho. Q naught 1 k and rho. So by using this equation, we are going to use how much amount of water that is discharged at particular interval. So this is the solution for our first problem. The first problem was how much amount of water is discharged at particular interval. So in order to know that how much amount of water is discharged, we have to use this equation. And the next thing is solving we in order to minimize the production cost. So in order to minimize the production cost, we have lambda. The lambda is equals to differentiation of F PGT divided by d PGT. By using that, we can easily minimize the production cost of thermal power station. And also we have satisfied the different Heidel constraints. What are the different Heidel constraints? So these are the different Heidel constants. That is, we have to balance the power from generation to load, and we have to satisfy the storage, amount of water storage, and amount of water that is available for the generation. So these are the main three Heidel constraints. So we have solved these three problems. So the next thing is algorithm. So how best we can use these equations. So just go through once after the class, just go through once, you will get understand. First keep in your mind why we go for this discrete time method and what are the different problems and what are the different solutions that we derived. That's the only thing. So first thing, we have to assume Q naught K. Mainly thing, first remember you are going to calculate for independent variables. So independent variable is for K is equals to K is not equals to 1 other than 1, that is 2 3 1 2 3 4 up to n. So that is the first step. And the next step, you are going to calculate the amount of water stored at different intervals and amount of power that is generated using the Heidel and the amount of power that is generated using the thermal. And finally, by the equations Q naught 1. By using the equation 1, you have to solve Q naught 1. So this is the main solution that we need. So in order to find this problem, in order to find the solution of this problem, we use discrete time interval method. What is amount of water storage stored and the thermal constraints and the amount of water that is discharged. Next thing is amount of production cost we have to minimize for thermal power generation, PGT. So that is by using lambda 1k, lambda 2k, lambda 3k and lambda 2 dash. By using equations 2, 2a, 2b, 2c and 3. So this is the one more problem that we solved now. And the next step is gradient vector. Gradient vector is for whenever we reach the gradient vector. When we are going to reach the gradient vector, that is which is less than or equal to sigma, summation. Then we need to stop that problem. So again we need to repeat the same thing. We need to solve the problems till we are going to satisfy the summation which is less than or equal to gradient vectors. The summation which belongs to lesser than or equal to the gradient vector. So till then we have to follow this procedure. So if at particular point we need to stop only when the equation is satisfied. This equation is satisfied. That is Q naught K nu. The algorithm and the flowchart are same. Only thing is flowchart. In the flowchart we are going to draw in terms of blocks and algorithm in terms of lines, words. So that is Q naught K nu is equals to Q naught K old minus alpha of d Lagrange by dou Lagrange by dou Q naught K. So here K is independent variable, so use K other than 1. And alpha, here the alpha is the positive scalar quantity. So if you satisfy this, then go to step 2. So like that we need to solve. We need to solve the problems, basic problems of, that is minimization of thermal production cost, amount of water discharging at different intervals and satisfying the constants. So all these things we can solve using discrete time interval method. And the one more method is we are going to solve using lambda gamma method. Hydrothermal schedule using lambda gamma intervals. Not intervals, that's iterations, lambda gamma iterations. So what that actually mean? Using mathematical model. We have to use the mathematical model which are slightly different from the actual constants. The same constants that we are using here also. FT is the production cost, fuel cost of thermal, FT, using HK F of PGTK. So in the previous we were using only F of PGTK. Here we are adding HK. H is the total interval, total duration. In that total duration, how much amount of power is generated and what is the cost, what is the production cost. So that will be given by this equation. And the next thing is total amount of water that is there in our station is given by the equation sigma k equals to 1 to n q naught k h of k. So in the same problem, previously we were using only q naught k. Here we are using with along with h. And here the q total is the total volume of water availability for discharge. Total amount of water that is available for discharge. For discharge means we have to neglect, we have to not consider the dead storage. So normally the dead storage will be available at the summer time. So we should not consider that dead storage for calculating the amount of total available water. So that's why I have mentioned here the discharge, which is above the crest gate. So, and the losses, the generation, the power balance equation, that is the amount of power generated minus the amount of power that is load plus losses. Generation is equals to load plus losses. So this is the one more constant. And here we need to remember that is the total time period, the T max is equals to the total time interval available for the generation of power. The total time interval is equals to the total amount of time which is available for the generation of power. So this is the basic mathematical equations, and here we need to assume the constant head operation. And here the discharge Q naught K is mainly depends upon the PGHK. So as usual, this is the common thing, that is amount of water that is flowing out from the discharge, that is discharging or flowing out of the reservoir, is mainly depends upon the how much amount of water power that is we are generated using the hydel. So that is power generated using the hydel is depends only on the amount of water that is flowing out. So we use Lagrangian for the above constants. So previously we were solved 4 constants. So here also we are using the same constants, only slight difference will be there. So Lagrangian is equals to sigma k hkf pgtk. Same thing. There in the discrete time there was no hk. And the lambda k, that is plus lambda k into the power balance equation. And here one more thing is gamma. So we are using gamma here. So here the gamma is nothing but which converts the gamma here, the gamma converts the incremental water rate to the incremental plant constant. Incremental water rate to the incremental plant constant. So that this will be given by gamma. So we are using gamma here, gamma into the amount of water that is flowing out for production of hydel, production in the hydel. So that is gamma into sigma k is equals to 1 to n hk q naught k pghk minus total. So this is the thing. I am just using the above four constants in the Lagrangian equation. There is no other things, just the above constants that I am using here. So the procedure is same again. What I am going to partial differentiate the thermal power generation, that is PGTK. So that gives Hk into df PGTK by dPGTK plus lambda k of power loss. So this will be given by lambda k. And one more thing is same thing using for hydel. I have used for thermal, and the same thing procedure is repeating for hydel. So hydel equation is in this constant. So use the gamma constant also. Gamma hk dq naught k dpghk divided by dpghk plus lambda k into losses. The losses occurred while generating the hydel in the hydel plant, and here the losses generated at the time of running thermal station. So this is also given by lambda k. Okay. Same thing using the lambda k. So here the gamma converts the incremental water rate to the incremental plant constant. This gamma converts the incremental water rate into the incremental plant cost. So this is the constant which is going to convert the incremental water rate into the incremental plant cost. What it means? The only thing is water rate. By the water we are generating the power. So we can calculate the power by how much amount of water is flowing out. That is incremental plant water rate. If you know how much amount of water is flowing out, you can easily calculate the power. How much amount of power is generated. So that is the thing. It is that's the same thing doing by gamma. So that's the dependency of gamma here. So why the gamma is required? Because gamma converts the incremental water rate to the incremental plant constant. And here if the losses are neglected, that is just for the analysis purpose, consider it as a ideal condition. So nowhere we can see the ideal conditions. So just like for analysis of the transformer, we are considering the ideal cases. So same here, I am just observing, calculating for analysis purpose. I am neglecting the losses. So if you neglect the losses, then what would be the lambda k equation? This equation and this equation, that is hk. So the lambda will be given by hk differentiation of the production cost of thermal, and here the same thing we have to add extra gamma of hk with the differentiation of amount of water that is flown out with hydel station. So that is q naught is the water outlet, and amount of power that is generated using hydel. So to remember these two equations, hk df differentiation of f pgtk with respect to pgt, and differentiation of Q naught PGH of K with respect to PGH. So the new term, the new constant, that is the gamma. Gamma comes when we are going to convert the incremental water rate into the incremental production cost. So we can calculate by using these two equations. So we will further evaluate these things in the next class. So till now you have to remember what are the different constants are there, what are the different problems are there. You have to remember the nomenclature and you have to solve the problems. Here the problems are nothing but not your numericals, the problems that we are facing while in the power system, in the power plants. So that is the problems. Those are the problems that we need to solve using different methods. First we have solved using discrete time method, and now we are going to solve using gamma lambda method. So, okay, the remaining gamma lambda method, the iteration algorithm, we will see in the next class.